Sarah and Xander's to a tumultuous marriage next week marks a pivotal moment on Days of Our Lives as Sarah Horton and Xander Kyriakis finalize their divorce. An event that fans have been bracing for since the cracks in their relationship began to widen. Their marriage, once filled with hope and promise, has tragically dissolved under the weight of secrets, lies, and escalating violence. What seemed like an unbreakable bond has now shattered irreparably, leaving both characters and viewers grappling with heartbreak and disbelief. The crumbling foundation, secrets, and betrayal. The unraveling of Sarah and Xander's relationship has been one of the most gripping stories on Days of Our Lives this season. Central to this collapse is a secret that could no longer stay buried. It was only a matter of time before the truth surfaced, and when it did, it sent shockwaves through their world. Viewers watched with bated breath as Xander, portrayed by Paul Telfer, discovered the truth, piecing it together after Philip Kyriakis, played by Jean-Paul Lavoisier, dropped the bombshell that Sarah knows. Xander's reaction was chilling, not angry, not distraught, but cold and unyielding. His silence spoke volumes, revealing a man who had retreated behind an impenetrable wall of emotionlessness. It was a stark transformation from the passionate and often fiery man audiences once knew. This revelation of betrayal was a pivotal moment. How could Sarah keep such a significant secret from him? More importantly, why did she do it? These questions haunted Xander, yet his outward demeanor gave nothing away. Except in the rare moments when he said goodbye to his daughter Victoria, revealing the pain he otherwise buried deep inside. The fallout, violence, and vengeance, the aftermath of the secret's reveal took a violent turn. Despite knowing the truth, Xander's emotions boiled over in a brutal confrontation with his half-brother Philip. Xander brutally attacked Philip, pounding him until his knuckles were bruised and bloody. What was striking about this attack was Xander's apparent lack of remorse. Instead of regret, there was a chilling coldness, as if the betrayal had drained all humanity from him, leaving behind a hardened, merciless shell. Calling Philip crazy and blaming Sarah for the confrontation only deepened the wounds between all involved. The violence wasn't just physical. It was a reflection of the emotional devastation tearing apart their family. For Xander, this wasn't just about anger. It was about the shattering of trust and the collapse of everything he thought he knew. Sarah's perspective, a complicated defense. Sarah's attempts to explain her actions add another layer of complexity to this tangled web. She revealed that her motivation for keeping a forged letter hidden was rooted in fear, not just for herself, but for the entire family. Sarah believed that the late Victor Kyriakis, John Aniston, would have wanted the half-brothers to find a way to work together peacefully. But more deeply, Sarah admitted she feared what Philip might do if given unchecked power. She believed that allowing Philip's more dangerous instincts free rein could lead to devastating consequences, possibly even jail time. It was a calculated decision to keep the secret, hoping it would prevent greater harm. Xander, however, found this explanation difficult to accept. He was hurt not only by Sarah's deception but also by what he saw as a fundamental lack of faith in him. Sarah pointed out past violent incidents, Xander's own actions toward Brady Black, Eric Martsolf, and Philip, which complicated the picture further. She believed her choices were justified in light of these darker moments. The final blow, separation and heartbreak. The tension reached a boiling point when Sarah finally asked Xander to leave the mansion. His refusal to go without their daughter Victoria was met with an impenetrable wall from Sarah, who refused to let Victoria leave with a father who had just inflicted violence on his own brother. The heartbreaking moment when Xander had to say goodbye to Victoria was a powerful scene that underscored the tragedy of their broken family. Despite the pain, Xander promised Victoria he would always be there for her. A bittersweet vow that reminded viewers of the love still present beneath the rubble of their fractured lives. Unanswered questions and what lies ahead. As fans digest these dramatic developments, many burning questions remain. How could the Salem Police Department allow Xander to walk free with his knuckles bruised and bloody? This seemingly obvious evidence of assault raises doubts about the justice system's handling of the case. Is this truly the end for Sarah and Xander? Or could there be a future where forgiveness and healing are possible? Given the depth of betrayal and violence, many wonder if their relationship can ever be repaired. There's also the mystery surrounding Maggie Horton, Suzanne Rogers. Sarah seems to be covering for her, and viewers are left wondering if Xander will uncover more secrets. How will these additional layers of deception affect the already fragile relationships in Salem? A story that resonates for viewers, especially those aged 65 and older who have followed Days of Our Lives for years. Sarah and Xander's story is a poignant reminder of how complex relationships can become when trust is broken. It's a tale of love lost, of choices made in fear, and of the human cost of secrets. Their journey underscores a timeless truth that marriage, no matter how hopeful at the start, can be deeply vulnerable to the pressures of lies and violence. It's a tragic end that invites reflection on the importance of honesty, communication, and forgiveness. As the story moves forward, fans will no doubt be watching closely to see how the characters rebuild, or whether the wounds prove too deep to heal. Worry and hope amid crisis. A story of family, friendship, and fundraising in the quiet hours of a tense day. The lives of a close-knit group of friends and family are intertwined by concern, mystery, and the drive to help those they care about. At the heart of this story is Philip, a man lying unconscious in a hospital bed, fighting for his life. Around him, his loved ones grapple with fear, suspicion, and the painful uncertainty of his condition. The hospital room. A scene of silent vigil. Alex sat quietly by Philip's bedside, his eyes filled with a mixture of desperation and hope. The sterile hospital room, with its hum of machines and faint smell of antiseptic, felt colder than usual. He reached out, gently taking Philip's hand in his own, whispering softly, "Please, wake up. We need you." His voice trembled, betraying the strength he was trying so hard to hold onto. Minutes later, Brady arrived, entering the room with a heaviness in his step. His eyes locked on Philip's still form, and a deep concern furrowed his brow. "Someone really did something to him," Brady said quietly, almost to himself. Alex nodded grimly. "Yeah, it was probably Xander," he replied. "Something must have happened." Brady paused, skepticism flickering across his face. Xander was known in their community for his unpredictable behavior, and while Brady found it hard to believe that he could go so far, a disturbing memory crept into his mind: the incident with the bat. That moment, dark and violent, gave weight to Alex's suspicions. It made Brady lean more towards believing that Xander might indeed be responsible for Philip's condition. The room was heavy with unspoken fears. No one wanted to admit what this could mean for Philip's future. Would he ever wake up? Would justice be served? Questions hung in the air, unanswered and urgent. At the other end of town, the fundraiser's quiet beginnings. Meanwhile, not far from the hospital, Kat and Stephanie were preparing for a fundraiser to benefit the hospital where Philip was being treated. They found themselves in a small, deserted bar that was to be the venue for the upcoming event, a sip and paint night intended to raise money for critical care. The atmosphere was surprisingly quiet, with several expected guests having canceled last minute. The stress of the situation weighed on them, but their determination to help kept them going. Then, unexpectedly, Chad arrived. He stepped into the room with a somewhat surprised look, spotting Kat instantly. Kat had volunteered at the last minute to serve as the art instructor for the evening. She was an art major, passionate and talented, and eager to contribute her skills to support the cause. The two of them exchanged warm smiles, a subtle spark of flirtation lighting up their conversation. Stephanie, ever watchful, noticed the chemistry between Kat and Chad. It was then she learned the pair were planning to go on a date soon. But when Kat mentioned skydiving as part of their adventurous plans, Chad's face paled noticeably, revealing an undercurrent of hesitation. Stepping outside to take a phone call, Chad left Stephanie with a quiet moment to express her concern. "Be careful with him," she advised Kat gently. Stephanie's protective instincts kicked in, not only because Chad had children to consider, but also because she wasn't convinced he was fully ready to move on from his past with Abigail. A meeting of concerned hearts. Shortly afterward, Brady and Alex made their way to the bar. Alex introduced himself to Kat, who greeted him warmly. Chad chimed in, sharing that Maggie, Philip's close friend, had also had to cancel her trip to visit him in the hospital due to unforeseen circumstances. The mood was somber. "We just got here," Brady said quietly. "Not good," Alex added, his worry evident. Stephanie pulled Alex aside, sensing the depth of his anxiety. He confided in her, his voice low but urgent. "I'm really worried about Philip." They both recalled the troubling moment when they had seen Xander acting strangely in the town square around the time Philip was attacked. The memory was sharp, unsettling. "We both know what he's capable of," Alex sighed. The words hung heavily between them, underscoring the gravity of the situation. A community bound by hope and uncertainty, this story is more than just about a man in a hospital bed. It's about the web of relationships that form the backbone of a community. The worry etched on Alex and Brady's faces reflects the deep bonds of family and friendship. Kat and Stephanie's efforts to organize a fundraiser reveal the strength of community spirit in the face of adversity. And Chad's hesitant involvement shows how even in moments of personal uncertainty, people can come together for a common cause. The road ahead is unclear. Philip's condition remains critical, his recovery uncertain. Suspicion and fear of Xander's involvement cast a long shadow over their lives. But through it all, these individuals demonstrate resilience and compassion, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, hope can be found in the strength of human connection.